Good afternoon, everyone. A very warm welcome to this lunchtime workshop on edible gardening. My name is Patricia, and I'm from the NUS Office of Environmental Sustainability. Our role is to promote awareness and action on campus sustainability and to enhance the sustainability culture within the NUS community. This event is co-organized with the University Health Centre as part of the Wellness Wednesday series. Gardening has incredible physical, mental, and emotional benefits and has been scientifically proven to improve the health and well-being of everyone from stressed out office workers to the elderly. We are delighted to have with us today Ms. Mei Chiang from Ground Up Initiative to show us how Ground Up Initiative seeks to connect people with their food, the environment, and themselves for a happier and more sustainable future through the Kampong campus. You will be taken on a virtual farm tour for an overview of organic crop farming in Singapore and learn about the sustainable farming practices adopted. Thereafter, May will demonstrate how you can grow and harvest your very own nutrient-rich microgreens. For those who have purchased the optional microgreen starter kit, do have them ready with you so that you can participate in a hands-on session with May. And if you have questions for May along the way, please feel free to type them into the group chat box, and she will address them towards the end of the session as time permits. Without further ado, let's welcome May to the floor.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. All right. I would like to share my screen right now before we start the session. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Just give me some response. Yes, great. Okay, right, I'm going to share a little bit about my journey. I'm not from any medical field, neither am I doing things that is very wellness per se, but it's how I'm going to share with you guys my journey, how nature, or rather the journey in nature, transformed me into who I am today. All right. I was trained as a graphic designer, and for 18 years, always stressed out with timelines, a lot of unhappiness, a lot of sadness out of no reason, a lot of anxiety. I think all of us is very common with all this sensation, right? So we start to, I start to feel pretty meaningless in life. So when I reached age 40, I decided to stop everything and go into something that is totally different. I went to join an organization. It's actually an international group called WWOOF, or Woofer, WWOOF. You can Google it and you will know what it means. It's putting together worldwide a group of organic farmers where they can host people who are interested to find out more about farming, all right, growing own food. And here it goes. I bought the air tickets to Taiwan, and I started my journey, not knowing what is in there for me. So the surprise is what you see here. This is where my first place of stay in Taiwan, right at Yangmingshan, which is a very beautiful park, but it's a huge place, and that is where I stay. You see that little window that was open there. That is my room. Being from city folks, right, going to a mountainous area, staying alone in this hut is actually a very, very terrifying experience for me. The picture next to it is actually a toilets that we are supposed to use. And you also can imagine the shock and the fear that I have when I first step into it. I don't even know how to use it or what am I supposed to do. So that is where we have to figure it out and understand, you know, take a peek into what is below, and then you understand, okay, so this is how it's going to be done, and everything should be back into nature, everything should be back into the land. Okay, so that is my very first encounter, and as days progresses, I met up with other woofer. So I think being in a place so big, I start to feel this feeling of being free. I start to be able to feel the sun, feel the breeze, and feeling myself every moment. I think that is a very different transformation when I go to places like this, right? And after meeting different people, we do all sorts of tasks that is required in the farm. And we start to enjoy food in a different way, because it's after a long day of hard work, you really cherish every single bit that is given to you, and that kind of joy brings out the gratefulness in me. And I start to appreciate life better, start to appreciate people around me better. And I think that moment transformed me into a happier person, even though for a very long period, I'm not receiving any pay. But again, for that long duration, I am not worrying about timeline. I'm not worrying about people not happy with what I'm doing and things like that, So after the journey, woofing in Taiwan for 2 weeks, Thailand another 2 weeks, and then I went to China as well. I still had to come back to Singapore, and that is where I start to rethink what has this journey brings me, and what do I want this journey to continue. And it takes me some time to find eventually Ground Up Initiative. So this organization was founded in 2008. We started in a very small farming community, farming plots in Lim Chu Kang. And in second year, we were invited to this place where we are currently, called Border Tree Park, during 2009. So the purpose of GUI, right? We are not eco-villages. We are not like a place for you to hide out. In fact, we are actually training leaders to be ready to connect themselves to the people, connect themselves to any issues that they take ownership and they want to make changes. I think very importantly is also to connect to yourself. And our place is, I would say, it's very nature-based. It's a very open nature classroom. I hope all of you would have time to visit us one day when the COVID situation is not so tight. And at GUI, I continued my farming journey, and I met up with all these lovely people. It teaches me to be happy. It teaches me also to be grateful and do not take anybody or anyone or anything for granted. And I think very importantly is to respect the differences. I think when we are able to respect everybody as who they are, you are not so tied up with a lot of opinions, And the important things is also this connectedness that we are talking about in the entire GUI community. So what are we actually reconnecting? I think to me, this journey helped me to reconnect to this space where I find my own purpose. What am I going to do here, and what is this place for me? And to connect to an intent. I think this intention is very important because it will give you the strength to continue. And last is also to connect to belief. I think this belief is going to give you that peace, even if you are at your weakest moment, right? All these are very important connections that in this journey, it brings me to who I am today. I think in nature, there are many things that is very beautiful. We all know that how magical nature can heal us, but it's always very lacking in that initiative to say, okay, I want to just drop everything and just walk the park, and not think of my handphone, don't even carry my electronic gadgets and just be in the nature. So that is one thing that we are pretty lacking in the initiative to do so. All right, so after hearing so much about Ground Up Initiative and how this place transformed me, I would love to share with you our little education farm. And I'm going to just share a videos where you are going to see our farm. All right, so sit back and relax for
Hi everyone, I'm Celia. I'm a farmer and educator here at Ground Up Initiative, in short, GUI. My greatest joy is to bring people closer to nature, and sharing that through a farm experience has been one of my favorite ways to do so. Singapore, a country with only 720 square kilometers, considers its use of land wisely. Post-war Singapore saw us prioritizing food production out of survival and need to feed its people. You might have heard from your grandparents about how they had to live off staple crops like tapioca or sweet potato. The agricultural industry continued to grow, and at our peak in the 1960s, up to 21% of our land was used for farming. We grew and exported everything from pepper, nutmeg, pineapple, rubber, eggs, and even cattle. That includes sheep, goats, and pigs. Even our famous Orchard Road was named that way because it was a nutmeg and fruit plantation. Agriculture was such an integral aspect to our way of life. However, as Singapore progressed and to better address the needs of its people, these farms gave way to provide for housing and industrialization, and only a handful of farms remained. Now, farmlands have shrunk to less than 1% and all clustered in the far north of Singapore. Farms also take on a different look, going soilless, integrating technology while still aiming to provide food for Singaporeans in our limited land space. Fast forward to the 21st century, we have a whole generation of Singaporeans whose experiences and knowledge about food growing has grown distanced.
GUI is a non-profit organisation, and our farm is what we call natural farming.
Natural farming is a closed system where we work along with the biodiversity of the land. For example, we create compost from food waste, we plant plants that are natural fertilizer to the soil.
This is a nature-based classroom, so that people is able to interact with nature and not a bystander just going to a park and admire the nature, but you are able to plant something, see it grow, alright, and from there understand the connection or interconnection between human and nature.
GUI's goal was simple. We wanted to create a 5G society: gracious, green, giving, grounded, and grateful. A foundation for a 21st century kampong culture that cultivates holistic solutions for a happier, livable, and sustainable future for modern society. So how does a classroom that practices a 5G kampong culture in the 21st century look like? Today we are here at GUI to learn more about them and how they operate with the Kampong's Wonder Woman, May.
Hi, my name is May. They call me Wonder Woman in the kampong, and I'm leading the farming unit. What we do a lot every day is managing the farm, of course, and different responsibility I need to manage different days. So certain days I have to make sure that we buy in some seedlings, and then we timely grow them in certain amount. And then of course we would have to check on the ground to see is there any issues that we need to handle, like pest issue or anything that is affecting the harvest. And last thing will be, do we have enough people? Then we have to look for the right people to grow them, and build a bigger pool of farmers helping us to manage the farm.
GUI is managed by a small group of full-timers, but is being supported by a large network of volunteers. Young children, students, working adults, and even the elderly contribute through building and farming. Every step through this space is a journey through the combined effort of the community that helped us in expanding GUI to the 2.6 hectares it is today.
In a farm, it's very important to have a manager, and we are very fortunate to have a very capable Mrs. Tang. 早安 Mrs. Tang。
嗨，大家好，我是 Mrs. Tang， 我是这里的农夫之一。我在这边大概有5年了，大概每天的工作大概就是来到农场之后，就会先去看一下场地，我们的地，看在前一天有没有发生什么状况啊，比如说下雨啊，有没有哪里积水啊，有没有农作物倒下啊，然后这些都是我们这一天要安排，可能要帮他除掉积水，或者甚至把那些倒下的植物帮他扶正，然后再来就是我们会看哪些地需要清理除草啊，或者再重新施一些肥啊，然后准备我们下一轮的那个种植这样子。然后当然呢，每天我们还是会有一些新的农产品出来，就是譬如说长豆啊、辣椒啊，还有那个羊角豆，大概都是每天都要去采收。我们培植都是从种子从种子发芽，然后一直到它长成幼苗，然后我们才会移到自己的土地上面去。像这一棵是茄子，我们已经培养了将近1个月了， 对，非常花时间功夫。所以现在是我们要把它移到地上的那个时候，所以我们现在去移植吧。来，我带你看一样东西。这个是茄子，我们种这个大概从它培苗开始到现在大概要6个月。哇！还有你看这个花哈，它们是雌雄同体的。有的人会问说有没有公花母花？它们茄子没有这样分，雌雄同体，所以它们是自己可以授粉，自己就会生果实出来。对，如果我们好好照顾的话，它1年是没有问题的，就是生产1年是没有问题的。
所以1年下来都会生果。
对对对。
Here are Mrs. Tang's top gardening tips.
这边的草我们先除了一下，好，然后我们会在这里挖个洞。最近下过雨，所以土还蛮松的。然后这里就有蚯蚓，还算不错，这个土还算不错啊。所以我们跟它等一下让它留在这里，这样应该够了，可以的。所以我们现在就是，我们把它
捏一下
松。OK， 好，然后土再慢慢跟它弄下去就可以了。好，这样我们就用一些刚刚弄出来的草，我们可以帮它覆盖周围的土保持，让周围的土保持那个湿润。然后有时候我会用这个跟它们盖。因为刚刚它小颗嘛，可能比较脆弱一点。天气太热的时候，我会跟它盖住，然后等到过了中午之后，我再跟它打开来，就是这样子呵护我们的幼苗。种下去会立刻浇水，可是现在因为土很湿，所以我们不需要。然后其实应该是下午这个时候种是最好的，因为再来就是天黑了嘛，
对，
就不会没有那么热，比较凉，对他们会长得比较好。对，所以其实照顾非常的重要。比如说，你看这里的小昆虫啊，我们不会刻意去驱赶它，我们也不会说喷药，我们是绝对不会喷药的。我们就让他们在自然界，他们自己去让他们有一个循环这样子。所以，如果他们昆虫会来的话，通常是因为它本身这棵植物已经不健康了，所以才会吸引昆虫过来攻击它。那如果是健康的话，它是 OK 的，是很好的。来，我们现在跟它稍微杂草跟它除一下。这里下面有些杂草，其实草还是有用处的啦。很多人说草会抢它的肥，但是其实在另外一个科学的角度草是可以帮它制造一些养分的。对，所以我们不会说很刻意的说把草除得非常的干净，我们只是会把这种比较生命力比较强的，影响到它生长的会跟它除掉。其他的草只要说不要超过它的高度，我觉得还是 OK 的。然后像这个我们就丢在这边让它晒一晒死，不要让它继续，因为它的太强势了，它们一下雨它就长得很快。这是我们收集来的厨余就是天然的肥料，然后这2颗的中间不要太靠近它的根，就是大概距离20到30公分，就是大概这样的距离我们就在这里挖。那这样我们就可以把厨余放下去了。然后呢，我们再把这个土盖回去。然后再找一些树叶干草跟它盖回去。尽量不要让它味道出来，不然它会吸引一些河边的动物来吃。OK， 这样就可以了。这样我们1个月后再来放。
Besides eggplants, there are also a wide array of medicinal edible plants being planted here, and also different plants that feature heavily in our multicultural cuisine, like the ulam raja, which has a green mango taste in its leaves, used more in Malay cuisine and in a dish called nasi ulam. Moringa, a favorite superfood because of its high nutrient density and can be used in soups and curries in Indian cuisine. And katuk, also called sweet leaf because of the faint sweetness that the leaves impart when cooked in soups in Chinese cuisine. We have many young trees like guava, noni, breadfruit, as well as mature trees like durian, rambutan, and pulasan.
But they are not fruiting right now, so you have to visit us when they are in season.
You can see there's some compost at the base of the tree, so let's take a deeper look at how we can compost. Composting includes food waste like fruit peels, eggshells, and landscaping waste you might see in the environment, like dried leaves and twigs. When you combine these two together in a pile, what happens is that you're encouraging bacteria to feed and multiply as they decompose this food and eventually create this dark, rich, broken down organic matter used to fertilize the soil. It's a great way to repurpose our waste into a resource and, more importantly, make our system cyclical. The active microbiology in this compost will be used to add on fertility and vitality to the soil. Don't be grossed out! This good bacteria entering the soil enables healthy plants to be grown that creates nutritious produce for us to consume and help us to build a healthy gut biome and immune system. We welcome the public to drop off their food waste, or even better, why not start collecting food waste and begin composting at your own home? We are also creative and resourceful in the materials in our environment and repurpose them for various uses.
Hello, my name is Ping Yu. I'm the kampong architect over here, and at GUI I'm in charge of the master planning, things that has to do with the estate, maintenance, etc. A lot of stuff that gets built here have to get my approval. So when we inherited the land in 2014, most of the infrastructure has already been built up by the previous owner, which is the Border Tree Park. So for us, it's more about repurposing. So the kampong, for example, and the farms, we had to change it to suit our purpose. Come, let me show you somewhere that's interesting as well. Let's go to the ponds.
All right.
This way. So you can see this part here is more natural than the rest of the kampong. When we took over the land, there were 7 ponds here altogether. And what we have done with the help of authorities is to get some of the ponds filled up so that we have more land space to run activities. But at the same time, we want to preserve some of the ponds that have been used by the animals as one of their stopping ground. And for us, it's also a way to connect with nature. So this pond that you are going to see soon is the main pond that we have in the whole of the kampong campus. And you can see there's an island right in the middle.
Right.
And that's no man's land because in the past there were a lot of birds that will fly past here and they will...
It's past their migratory
Yes,
route,
yes, exactly. So we left that very untouched. So you can see it's more wild.
These open spaces of land are opportunities for seeds to land and nature's expression of plants that thrive in this microclimate. The cattail here, for example, is wind-pollinated and helps to act as a biofilter. Over time, plants that grow here serve as habitat and pollinator attractors and bring in wildlife like dragonflies and water spiders, bringing more diversity into the ecosystem. Another water feature that attracts diversity on the farm is a stream. Larger animals alike use this space as a source of food, like the water hen and even otters. Protecting this space and conserving the natural habitat for the wildlife keeps them coming back. Water is not only a medium for attracting diversity, it is also a precious resource in supporting our daily farm activities. Knowing how to capture, store, and conserve water is an important practice on the farm. Let's check out some ways the farm has implemented this through its space.
My name is King Boon and I'm the kampong handyman. Partly, I'm also trying to set up water harvesting system that we can add good quality rainwater instead of using PUB water for our plants. Other than sunlight, plants need a lot of water. If we were to rely on PUB water, first of all, it will be very expensive. Next, PUB water contains chlorine, which is not an ideal water source for the plants. So relatively, rainwater is the cheapest and at the same time is a better water compared to the PUB water.
These sustainable practices highlight the interconnectedness we all have with land. Through the food we eat, security and balance from diversity in the environment, and the impact of how we use our resources. We hope to create a community that is empowered to take initiative for a more sustainable society.
I came across this place at the lowest period of my life, and this has a very healing period for me when I'm here working in a farm and interacting with other people that's able to help me put down whatever issues that I'm facing during that period. It has benefited me so much that I hope for other people that are encountering similar issue in life, they have such a place to heal themselves, and recharge.
I asked one of my very close friends, what's important for our children growing up in the world 10 to 20 years from now? And he told me this, actually, the technical know-how of how to do things, those are not really important. What's missing today is actually resilience, courage, humility, hunger to learn. And how do we teach this to people? I have no idea, and when I think about my daughter, I also struggle to think how can I teach her all of this. And I think that in GUI we have this opportunity through the activities that we do to hopefully show some of these values through the many people who come here. Because when they demonstrate these values through their actions and someone young sees it and pick it up, I think that's what makes a village.
You have to see beyond passion, like what we always say. It's the totality of feelings of being here, being with this group of people, the empowerment that we all have, the responsibility on our shoulder, the mission behind what we are doing, and we see beyond now. That is the draw.
What's the relationship that you would like to create with your food, the environment, and yourself? Come by to GUI to see what we have to offer, and we can't wait to see you.
Alright. How do you enjoy the videos? Yes, give me some response. Thank you, thank you. Alright, so you can see how beautiful this place is, and I believe you have heard the word healing many times. Nature does really help us to heal, and I also remember that you guys have beautiful parks in NUS, so do take some time to walk, enjoy the place where you are, and let the nature do the magic work, okay? So for now, it's your turn to have one step closer to plants, right? And we are going to start today's workshop very soon, and that is to grow your superfood. And you do not need a big place. You just need somewhere like a window where you have sunlight, and that will do the magic. Okay. So before you start, I would like you guys to just understand two things, right? Today we are going to grow this something called microgreens, right? And there's something that is very close to microgreens, and you can see from my screen, it's called the sprouts, right? So I would love all of you to now, I think for if you can, just on your video so that I can see you, right? And I would love to ask someone, maybe, I would say, okay, shall I start with Shirley? Hi, Shirley. Can you hear me? Great. Shirley, can you tell me visually when you look at these two photos, can you spot the difference? Shirley.
Sorry, I didn't unmute. Okay,
Yes.
so the sprouts are probably grown in a dark place, like the toya,
Oh, okay.
and the microgreens are probably in a place with sun.
How do you derive that?
The green
greens.
color. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. You have touched a very important difference in these two different types of way we are growing our beans and our sprout. The sprout do not need sunlight, but the microgreen, yes, you need sunlight, which I will cover in details. At what point do you introduce the sunlight? Okay. All right. And what else? Who else can tell me visually from this photo? What do you tell the difference? How do you tell the difference? Any difference that you notice? Janice Wong?
I'm sorry, it's Janine.
Oh, sorry, Janine. I'm so poor with names, so sorry.
Okay.
Now, can you tell me the difference?
I would say it looks like the size of the plants are different.
The size of the plant is different. That's right. Very right. Okay. Yes. That the duration of growing it is also very different. Have you tried growing sprout before? Maybe in maybe primary school time or even younger?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. How long do you remember?
A week, some sort like that.
Very short time, right? Or maybe a few days. You start to have your sprouts already. Yes.
Yep, that's right.
Microgreens is also slightly longer, so I will also cover this detail later. Okay. All right. Chen Pei.
Oh yeah, hi.
Hi. What else do you notice from this photo?
The different types of soil being used.
Yes. Where do you see the soil?
The sprouts, right? There's no soil. I think it's another type of growing method.
Yeah, you're right. Sprouts are using water. So if you remember how we used to grow our tauge, right? Yeah, when we are young, the teacher will teach us to use a piece of cotton. Yes?
Yeah, cotton wool.
Cotton wool, and then you use water only, right?
Yes.
Correct. So microgreens?
I think microgreens is just soil, that's all.
Yes, you use soil for microgreens. So all of you have already very well touched on all the differences between what is a sprout and what is microgreens, okay? The key thing to remember is microgreens usually use soil to grow. They need sunlight, okay? Because it will take some time to reach its maturity before you can harvest them. Sprout, in the other hand, do not need sunlight, don't need soil. Basically, it's just using water as a medium, okay? So that is the difference. Now, in the supermarket, you will tend to see some, like for example, alfalfa or other, they call it microgreens, but those are using water as a medium to grow. Why is it so? Why do you don't see microgreens that comes with soil on the shelf? Now, we have to understand when you are importing goods with soil, it's very tricky for many countries. That is the reason why you don't see microgreens with soil in the supermarket shelving. They are all mainly grown through water medium, hydroponics. Okay, so that is what the new technology has already brought us to. So after knowing the differences, it's your time now to get your hand dirty, okay? Now, before I go into what you should prepare, I would love to see all of you. So please, on your screen, so that I can see you while I go through the process. On your screen. Okay, I'm going to stop share. Yes, that's right. So I can see a gallery view of all of you. Okay, you were given a few things, right? You should be getting ready your bag of soil. Okay, you should have your 2 bags of seeds, and there is a recycle tray, right? That's what you need, you are given. And very importantly, you are told to prepare 50 ml, which is only this amount, not a lot, okay? 50 ml of water, tap water, okay? It's fine. And it will be good if you have a sprayer at home. Just get it ready by the side. Okay, these are the things that you need. Okay, are we all ready to go? Give me some sign. You can use the reaction at the bottom so that we know we're all ready. Yes. For those people who has got Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Yok Sim, is it? Thank you for your response. Okay, what you do, this bag of soil, it allows you to grow 2 times. Okay, so for today, you are going to use half of it. So what you do now is open this bag of soil, pour half of it into the tray that you are given. So do it now. Do it now. As you do it, you can show me so that I know that you are doing it properly. Right, just pour the soil into it. For those who do not have the starter kit, don't worry, you still will be given some time to purchase the starter kit. If you, after the workshop, you find it's wow, amazing, you want to do it, yes, you will have a chance to make that purchase. Okay, and then you can also revisit this video again and try this workshop with your children if you have. That would be very fascinating for them to see how the seeds is transforming. Okay. Right. Pochu, is Pochu around? It's not easy to find people from so many. Yeah. Okay. Anyone that has already poured in their soil, what you have to do now is that you have to pour in that 50 ml of water, all right, into the soil and mix them. Shirley, can I see what you are doing? Yes, that's right. Pour in half and then you add in the water. Okay, add in the water. You want to find your water, is it?
Yeah, I forgot about the water.
Okay, 50 ml is very little, okay? In a normal cup is about 1 inch deep. Not a lot of water, about 1 inch, yeah.
Okay, bringing out my measuring cup.
Very precise. Okay, I'm also doing mine. Now, once you observe the people who are having this soil, you will notice that there are a lot of white beads inside. Okay, you see a lot of white beads, right? Yeah, those are not blastics. Okay, those are called perlites. They are volcanic soil or volcanic rocks. Okay, so it's important to have them inside here to create water drainage. And this is a very interesting mixture. Okay. After you add in the water, I'm going to add it in now, okay, 50 ml. You're going to use your hand, you're going to just mix them, just like the way how you do your, the dough, prepare your dough, you mix your flour and things like that. So you're going to just mix them well. It shouldn't give you a pool of water. It should just create a very moist texture, which is enough for the seeds to start its growth journey ahead. Okay, now if you do this, great, you are going to mix it well. All right. Okay. All done? Okay. Don't worry about hand gets dirty, all right? It will dries up very quickly. What you have to do is just to rub your hand, all right? And then let the dirt go into the tray again. Keeps your hand dry. Okay. When you touch the soil, you will notice different things inside. All right. Chen Pei, are you doing yours? Casey, have you done yours? Very well. Okay, good. Casey, can you tell me what did you observe? So did you smell your hand?
No smell.
It's okay. You smell the right hand or not? I must ask you. You smell the right hand. Okay. Now, what did you notice about this soil? What do you think they are?
There's some fiber thing inside.
Yes, there's some fiber. And what else? Other than the perlite?
Stone?
Yeah, some beige stone. And
some
then
pebble,
very
right?
dark earth as well.
Yeah, some particles. Now the fiber that you mentioned, those are called cocoa peat. They are from coconut husk. Okay. Now cocoa peat is also a very good medium to absorb moisture, and it locks the moisture there, release it to the soil slowly. All right. Inside this tray that you have, it's not everything soil. There is also something called the peat moss. Peat moss is actually a plant fiber that was harvested. The purpose is also to trap moisture, that you do not need to keep on watering too much it's slow releasing so that the plants and the seedlings, right, will not get flooded over the duration. So it's a very slow releasing medium. Now you can find this in most of the nursery. It's called potting mixed. Okay. Now when you want to grow microgreens, please do not buy things that is like soil, only soil. No, you need to have a mixture of many nutrients inside here to provide the baby with what it needs at this period of their growth. So buy potting mix, very lightweight, right? Very, very lightweight. But it's very good for people who want to grow seedlings, baby plants, right? If you are growing like big trees, big plants, don't spend on this kind of money. Those you can use normal soil, add in compost, that will give the plant what it needs, right? So different types of plant require different medium of growth. Okay, already? Then next, you are going to choose out of these two boxes, bags of seeds, choose any one that you want to grow, open it up, right? No need to wash hand, just keep your hand at that stage. This is the very first time that we are so close to earth, right? When we grow up. Yes. Okay, choose the seed and then you're going to empty the seeds. All of it, yes, all of it into it, like sprinkle like pepper, you know, evenly onto the top layer. So make sure when you do that, your seed tray has to, the soil has to be quite level up. Try not to have pit holes, you know, try to level it nicely, right? Level it nicely and then you can sprinkle your seeds over it. Microgreens needed soil base. Compost might be too strong. So Esther, compost might be too strong for microgreens. Okay, so if you want to introduce compost, you have to go with other things. Mix it well, and then you can use that. It's okay, but not too much. Okay, got it? Can? All right. Next one, the next stage that you need to do is very straightforward. Spray. You just need to spray it. How much water to give? That is always a very difficult question to answer. So you have to feel it. The guideline I usually tell people is to squeeze 16 times, you know, lucky number 16, 16 times, just to wet the entire surface evenly. And you're done for the day. All right, for this tray planting, you have completed the process. And next, I'm going to tell you what you will be doing to take care of it. Just do that action. Now remember, we say that microgreens require sunlight, yeah? But at this stage, they do not need sunlight. So tonight, what you do is, with this tray, you should put it at some place that you do not have sunlight. You can put a piece of paper, cover it, and then you put it below your table, in the cupboard. It doesn't matter. Just put it there. Water the plant twice a day, one time in the morning, one time in the evening, same by spraying it, all right? Okay, and then the only time when you need to bring this tray near the window is when you start to see germination. When the seed germinated, the little green shoots start to come. That's the time you uncover everything, leave them by the window. No need direct sunlight, just leave them by the window. Okay, now when the seed is on the soil, don't cover them, just leave them on the soil. Okay, don't have to press it in. No need to press it in. Okay, can? Good. Okay. Any question so far? Patricia, you okay? No questions? Okay, very good. Okay, now when do you start to, when the things start to grow, remember when you start to germinate, right? Regularly, just 2 times of watering, once in the morning, once in the evening. Same thing, you use your sprayer and you will feel the weight, you will see the water going in. Make sure that you are not going to flood the whole tray. As long as the soil is moist, when you touch it, it's a little bit wet enough. Okay, that will be enough. This is what I planted 1 week ago. You can see that, right? This is what I planted 1 week ago. It's only about 1 inch tall. Okay, very dense. That is how your plant would be in 1 week's time. All right, okay, Ken? Shirley, you okay? Great. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to share my screen again to just to share a little bit on how you can take care of it. Okay. Right. Now, when we are going to do the harvesting, very straightforward. There will be, the bottom is called the soy cake, okay? And you are going to cut as close to the soy cake as possible. Now, how do you know when to do the harvesting? The guideline is typically 10 to 14 days time. Sometimes the certain seed will grow a little bit slower. It doesn't matter. You just monitor the growth, okay? Now, every seed will give you one plant. You just observe that particular plant, you'll notice that there will be a pair of leaves that start to come. Now, that first pair of leaf is what we call the first leaf, okay? You don't do anything, you let it grow. You only harvest when you see the second pair of leaf, which is what we call the true leaf. Once you start to see the second pair of leaf coming out, you can cut already, okay? So you cut away the top, and that is what you are going to enjoy. You're going to eat it. Now, once you cut it, does it mean that you have to consume it immediately? No, you can actually keep them nicely inside again the same tray, or with wet tissue paper inside. It will preserve or keep the harvest for at least a week, right? No problem about that. Now, what do you do with this soy cake that you have? There are different ways that you can do it, okay? This soy cake, you can take it out, flip it upside down, loosen it again, and it can be what we call another, the base for you to start to grow your second batch. I know that you are left with still half bags of the soil. You do not need to use all of it. You can sprinkle a thin layer of the new soil onto this soil cake, right? Sprinkle a thin layer, and then you can plant the next seed, next batch of seeds. Same way, all right? Same way, it will continue to function. Now, the roots, right, from the previous crops will naturally decompose by itself. So you don't, there's nothing goes to waste. This, I would say, is a very self-sustaining system to grow, okay? All right. If you have any question, don't worry, I'll come to that, or you can just type in the chat, okay? We'll go through this and then you'll understand the whole thing better, all right? Should you choose not to continue the growing, right? The whole entire soy cake is actually full of nutrients. So you can again take it out, break it up into smaller pieces, and then you can lay it over any potted plants that you have at home, okay? That will provide the nutrients. Now, there will be certain times that you're going to see this, okay? It looks like very moldy. So I tend to have feedbacks from participants to say, hey, what happened? Do I need to bring them out to the sun, or do I need to throw them, or what? Something happened to my plant. Now, this hairy stuff is called root hair. These are very natural for certain seeds, okay? Not all seeds will have it. Certain seeds will give you this effect. Don't worry, just let it be. Over time, it will grow into little baby shoot. Can? Okay? Right. Next, we are going to two. Now, when you harvest already, what do you do? Everybody loves to have food. And I think now, of course, we can't have party, but it's always good to eat healthy at staying home. So I'm going to teach you two ways of eating it. This one is what we call the salad with a gourmet touch. Microgreens was actually introduced as a tint of like a French cuisine. You have a few straight of these microgreens and enhance, it just enhance the flavor. Now we call this plant superfood, not because of no reason. At its size, the nutrients is 40 times compared to its matured plant, okay? Its aroma is also at its most intense, which is why it's used as like a dressing, decoration, enhancing the taste. But you can actually consume it literally. So this is a new way of eating, I think starting from this century, that people start to enjoy the microgreens. And these are the ingredients I put together, which is a very common ingredients that you can find. Salad greens that you can buy from supermarket. You can add in some steamed pumpkin or sweet potato, at your wish, or you can add in potato if you like, cherry tomatoes, or you can put in any fruits that you love. Nuts will give you that crunch. The dressing is also pretty simple. You can have this dressing that is listed here, light soy sauce, sesame oil, brown sugar a little bit, and then water. Stir them well, make sure that the sugar is melted properly, and then you just mix the two together, toss it well, and you're ready to serve, okay? Now, if you do not have this kind of dressing and you have balsamic vinegar, even better. Balsamic vinegar plus olive oil, that will give you the kick as well, okay? Very, very easy, okay? Next one, even more easy. To start your morning, to start your day with such a booster, okay? What you can do is do a smoothie, okay? You just need ice water, or if you, now the fashion is coconut water, right? You can use coconut water. Plain yogurt, please do not buy those flavored one, just get a plain small cup will do. 1 banana and a handful of what you are going to harvest, okay? Put them all into a blender, blend it, and then you serve immediately. It's a booster, okay? Remember, this is a superfood. It is going to keep you the nutrients, give you the best nutrients that you need for the entire day, all right? Okay, now we have come to the end of the entire workshop. I think it's very important for us to understand that where are we going to do this, grow your own food? That's actually very close to what our government is trying to educate or bring our citizens, closer to the food source, understanding these 30-30 visions that we are trying to work together and make it a success, So there are different ways that we can support this 30-30 vision other than eat local, know your food source. Of course, you can practice being a very smart consumer, know where your food comes from, make a wise decision, whether are you contributing to even more carbon footprints by doing certain choices, okay? And of course, in GUI, we also have our little farm, and every Saturday we have this retail corner. If you are staying nearby, we are just next to Khatib MRT station. Just give us, visit us, take a look at the farm and see what we have. These are the things that we carry here. In the video, it says that it's not the fruiting season, but now we are having quite a bit of rambutans, we are having chiku, and the mangosteen is coming. And yes, we also have durian, all right? It's now in the season. So this is who we are. And if you are curious to find out more, please, you can go to the website, visit us in Facebook, and you will find out a lot more activities that we are conducting, okay? All right. That's it. I'm going to stop share. Yes. Okay. We are done with the workshop. Any question, please feel free to ask now. Okay, for those who are looking for where to buy these seeds, right? I believe all of you, maybe some of you has got these seeds from NPark. You can use those seeds, okay? You don't need special seeds that says microgreen, not necessarily. You can use the seeds that's from NPark, like chai sim, gailan. All those are good enough seeds for you to grow your own microgreens. Okay, all right. There are questions here. Can we do hydroponics? Yes, you can. If you have a hydroponic system at home, you can use the seeds that I sent to you guys. Either seeds, you can use them. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Please on your mic. Let's interact. Yeah, you can buy the seeds from GUI. John, yes. Okay, when you want to germinate the seeds, there are certain times, okay, seeds like, for example, sunflower seeds, green pea or snow pea, these are the kind of seeds that you will need to soak them overnight because they have a very thick husk. If you lay them only straight away into this tray, it's going to take a long while for it to germinate, and maybe it's going to demoralize you. It's just nature. So what you do is we speed up the process by soaking the seeds overnight to soften the husk, help it to germinate faster. Certain seeds needs that, but generally do not need any special treatment. if you are thinking about, I'm going to answer the questions from, let me see. Okay, blue pea seeds do not need special way of germinating. Same thing, you just put them into the soil and then let the shoots come, and then when it's growing bigger, then you can transplant them. All right.
Mei Gui, this
Yes.
is Jenny here. I have a
Yes,
question.
yes.
Hey, regarding the planting of chai-sing, because we got the seed from NPark, right? I tried that, but it doesn't. Okay, it germinates. That means the sprout came out.
Right.
After that, right, the leaf doesn't grow. It just stays there for a few weeks, and then after that, I mean, I can't grow the chai-sing. I don't know where did I go wrong.
Where did you put the seeds? Inside small tray?
No, it's actually onto, I have a so-called a small pot, okay, with the soil. So actually I just sprinkle the seeds onto the soil, but after a few days I can see the sprouting come out.
Okay.
So when the sprouting come out, I just leave it. But after that, it grew to a height about maybe 3 cm with a small leaf, and then it stops there.
Okay, leafy greens challenging. First of all, it needs full sun. All right, it needs full sun, and it needs a good soil medium. Vegetables, usually we wouldn't like sprinkle loosely unless you are growing kangkong and bayam. Yes, those you can grow them very dense. But chai sim, kailan, all this, right? Ideal way to manage that is to grow them into little seed tray, little pots, one at a time or two at a time. When it germinates until you start to see the second or the first true leaf, like microgreens, when you start to see the second pair of leaf, right? Then you transplant them into the ground. And then you must give them good spacing. If they don't have good spacing, they are going to fight for the survival. And then eventually it's going to affect the growth. Sunlight is a critical thing. Where you grow them is also very critical. Yeah. So do you have some leftover seeds?
I do have.
You want to try again, or you want to use it for microgreens instead?
Can be done, right? Microgreen for that.
Can. You can also mix the seeds, microgreens, the chai-sim and the one that I gave you. You can mix them, and then you.
I didn't receive that.
Oh,
that's why I didn't join the workshop. Yeah.
Yeah, too bad. But never mind. You still have chance to buy if you want. It comes with a full set. That means with the soil.
Okay.
Yes.
Thanks.
No worries. No worries. I have a question from Stephanie. The cucumber, male and female. Oh, okay. The male and female plants, at the start of it, right, the flower will tend to drop frequently. I think growing this kind of fruiting plants in residential areas sometimes is very challenging because there's very lacking in pollinator. There's too much human traffic around, and the fogging that we regularly receive in our residential neighborhood, right, actually kills a lot of pollinator. So this one is a little bit tricky. The earlier stage of the male and the female flowers, it will tend to drop naturally lah. But whether does it sustain itself long enough for it to start to fruit, right, really depends on pollination. So sometimes you can human intervene it. You can use a cotton bud, tap the male flower, and then you have to go to the female flower and pollinate them. Provided that you know how to identify which is male and which is female, right? Okay, there is a difference. Male and female difference, they look very different. Yeah. Okay, I hope I answered your questions. Do I have to help them fertilize? All plants require X amount of fertilizer. So like leafy greens, if you are growing them, you need to fertilize it twice in their entire circle of 40 days. So like every 20 days, you have to fertilize once. That is something that they need. So in our kampong, we use our own compost lah. So we also teach you how to make compost, make enzymes. So these are the things that will help the plants to grow well. Good, Stephanie. Go and try it. Okay, any other questions that I have? Not answer. Any question that I have not answered? Just on your mic. We can speak faster that way. Amy, did you grow anything at home?
Yes, I tried jalapeno peppers and then some capsicum.
Wow.
And like I mentioned, like what you mentioned, I put them in, a shallower soil. Then when they got a little bit bigger and I transplanted, I think that's the part that, you realize you need a bit more tender, loving care.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a trade-off, you see, because it's so easy, in a big pot, if you kind of plant it and they grow naturally, and
Yes.
without clumping together, then you don't have to deal with transplanting, how do I say it, errors lah, because they the survival rate when you transplant has to take that into account as well. But it's quite interesting.
Yeah, transplanting really requires that you have to just be very careful. But why do we go into that, right? Most of the time when we grow plants, we don't give them a very big pot because that will be a lot of wastage in resources. The plant only need a very little bit of concentrated nutrients. You just give them enough. Don't give them too much. I think this is when I talk about this, it's just as children, you cannot give them too much, just enough, right amount for what they need at that stage of their life. Then it's helping them. If you give them things that they don't need, it's actually a waste of energy. That's the reason why we keep on, transplanting and transplanting.
Yeah, and you have to be very gentle with the sapling.
Yeah,
That's
right.
what I realized.
Yes, you have to hold them in your hand, put them in the ground and say, this is your new home, be happy, we communicate with our plants. That's the very important energy, that the connection that we should have. Yeah, okay. Okay, now, if let's say you are going to harvest a whole, finish off all the seeds, you might be wondering, can the seeds germinate second time? If let's say you harvest already, okay? Tendency of it germinating the second time is very, very low. Right, very, very low, unless you are talking about pea sprout. Pea sprout in Chinese is called 豆苗. Okay, those are different because their baby, the little leaves is there to help them to germinate the second time. But when you are growing this type of microgreens, it doesn't give you that small little leaf at the bottom that helps them to germinate the second time. So I would suggest don't waste energy. First harvest, done already, turn the soil cake upside down, loosen it, add in a thin layer of soil again, add in the new seeds, and you can start your growth. Right? Ken? Okay, I'm done.
Okay. That was very interesting sharing. Thank you, May, so much for that, and also for the hands-on session. We'd like to say a big thank you to everyone for joining us this afternoon. We hope you have enjoyed learning more about organic farming in Singapore and also how to grow your own microgreens and other plants, other edible plants. We'd like to thank Ground Up Initiative for collaborating in organizing this session. Now, could we just take a moment for a group photo? If you could please turn on your camera and smile or strike a pose. For those who have planters with you, hold up the planter, and my colleague Boon Han will do a countdown and take a few screenshots.
Hi everyone. Before I do the countdown, I'll just give you a few more seconds to turn on your camera if you want to.
Yay!
Can we have more of you turning on your camera so that we can see everyone, see all your faces?
Yay.
And those with planter kits, please hold them up.
Yay!
Okay, come 3, 2, 1. Hold on, just let me check. Okay, it looks good. Okay, done.
Okay, are we done? All right. Thank you, Boon Han.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you everyone once again. As mentioned before, this session has been recorded and the recording will be made available to all workshop participants for 1 month after this event. Do look out for our email. We will provide a link to the recording. And if you notice, I dropped the link to the order form in case you would like to order microgreen starter kits to try your hand at growing your own microgreens after this workshop. I've dropped the link in the chat, and I will also send it along in the email as well that will be coming to you. Okay, so here's wishing everyone a good week ahead. We will close this meeting in 5 minutes. Take care, keep well, and stay healthy.